So I will say we have the incredible. So first of all, we are entering into the last week of Mesillas Yesharim. I will say, pretty incredible, no? Pretty incredible. In the Mesillas Yesharim, a week from tomorrow is our last shiur on Mesillas Yesharim. Stay tuned for coming attractions in Mesillas Yesharim. But I will say this is our last parak, parak Chavav, last chapter 26, last parak of Mesillas Yesharim. So I'll say here we go. Right, Ramchal bebeir midas hakidusha. Where do we stop here today? Just see where we stop. Good. So I'll say, let's go. So remember again, in this chapter, the Ramchal writes, bebeir midas hakidusha, an explanation of the midah of kedusha. So look at the Ramchal. So we'll say, this is absolutely incredible. Ina kedusha kafalu. The Ramchal writes, kedusha is a twofold endeavor. Watch this. He says, "Dainu tchilasa avoda b'sofa gemul." The beginning part of kedusha is avoda, means you have to put in effort, and the last part, the gemul. Now, what does gemul mean? Gemul, like gemilos chasadim. Gemul means something that someone else gives you. Isn't this fascinating? So kedusha is acquired in a two-stage process. First, there's the work that you do, and then there's that which is done for your boss, right? Which is amazing. We just spoke about this in yesterday's drasha, right? The concept of being a taker, right? Sometimes you have to take. So that it's incredible. I'll say, by the way, I find it amazing, just in general, how every single thing we learn, it's everything. Maybe I haven't found the time. It's michas chaver, right? But every other thing, literally, that we learn, the Ramchal is always talking about the same thing that day. It's absolutely incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I give a share to a group of 11th graders, and we're learning Ramchal as well. We do up a lot of things, learning Ramchal. And the big joke is, because every single thing we learn, like, okay, Rabbi, we know everything is from the Ramchal. Everything is from the Ramchal. I feel like I'm talking to my kids. Right? It's great. It's Baruch Hashem. So also listen to this. So he says, two parts to Kedusha. Number one is what you do. Number two is what is bestowed upon you. Tchilaso ishtadlus. Here it is. The first part of Kedusha Bosa is your ishtadlus. You putting in the effort. The sofa matana. And the second part of Bosa, the acquisition of Kedusha, is a matana. Bosa matana from who? From the Ribbon Hashem. Watch this. V'hainu. Shetchilaso humasha adam mekadesh atzmo. Rabbi said the first step of Kedusha is how a person has to mekadesh himself. And we'll discuss what that means. I have to sanctify myself. V'sofa masha mekachim also. And Rabbi say, in the merit of what I do for myself, HaKadosh Baruch Hu then confers Kedusha upon me as well. So there's earned Kedusha, that's the effort I put in, that's the Ishtadlus, and as a result of my Ishtadlus, there's conferred Kedusha. HaKadosh Baruch Hu places Kedusha upon me. Adam mekadesh atzmo ma'at, a person sanctifies himself a little bit, mekachim osa harbe. Ultimately, again, the Ribbon Shalom sanctifies him much. Milamata, I sanctify myself here in this world. Mekachim also milamala. Kodesh Baruch Hu sanctifies me from Abosai. So this is the dialectic of Kedusha. There's the effort I put in this world. There's the effort I put in. And then ultimately, again, after I put in my effort, HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives me Kedusha as well. Here we go. So Abosai, let's first start with our Hishtadlus. I will say, what is the hishtadlus, the effort I have to put in order to become a holy person? So it says, hishtadlusu, she'adam nivdal v'ne'etak min ha'chomrius legamrei. So I will say, person has to separate himself from materialism. U'mistabek tamid b'chol isu b'chol shah be'elukius. And I connect myself to divinity, to elukius, to godliness whenever possible. I will say now what does this mean? So I will say, so once again, the Ramchal has been our Rebbe for a long time now. So we know that Ramchal is never preaching asceticism, right? He's not preaching an unrealistic lifestyle. What he is trying to tell us, I will say, is that often my material life and my spiritual life are at odds. That's just a fact. Right? And often what ends up happening is my quest for materialism so derails my quest for spirituality. Often that's just real. So therefore, and that's just the way that it is. That's it, Rossi, I want to point out, that's not something that's wrong with us. That's how HaKadosh Baruch Hu created us, right? That tension was created by the Ribono Shel Olam himself. My goal, what's my job in life? My job in life is to address this tension and find the right balance. But in order to find the right balance, I have to ask myself, what are the parts of my material life that are derailing me, and how do I offload them? That's it. That's it. I mean, no, that's it. That's it, but then that becomes a lifetime quest. The Aldavar Zen Nikru Nevi'im Malachim. Ki Yisharim Ba'aron, Ki Sifsei Koin Yishmaru Das, V'Torah Yivakshu Mipiu, Ki Malach Hashem Sivakos Hu. Shabbos says, so again, as the Pasuk says, this is why the Nevi'im are often called prophets. Why are they called prophets? I'm sorry, the Nevi'im are called Malachim. Why are the Nevi'im called Malachim, I will say? Because often, again, what does it mean? What is the one thing a Malach doesn't need? What doesn't a Malach need? A Malach doesn't need anything material. So therefore, often the Nevi'im who reach an elevated spiritual status are often called Malachim, because what they've been able to do is they've been able to go ahead and offload the unnecessary materials. He quotes this passage from Malachi, Ki Sifsei, the lips of a kohen yishmeru das. They guard and they guard wisdom. The Torah yivakshu mipiu. Ultimately, again, Torah is requested from his mouth. Ki malach Hashem tzukos. We'll say this passage. This passage. My family put this passage on my grandfather's Zichrono Livracha is Matseva. My grandfather was a Kohen. My grandfather was a Kohen, so this is the pasuk that's on his Matseva. The idea that who's the malach Hashem tzukos? Who's the Kohen? The Kohen is the person ultimately again who's able to realize there's this constant tension between Olam Hazeh, Olam Haba. Constant tension between Ruchnius and Gashmius. Can I avoid all Gashmius? Of course not. And I will say, I'm not supposed to. Can I enjoy a good slice of Gashmius in this world? Absolutely. But like everything else, enjoy it responsibly. And make sure that that enjoyment is not derailing your spiritual development. He goes on, and I will say, a true Kaddish realizes that even in those times when I'm enjoying Gashmius, I can't allow the Gashmius to derail my connection with Hashem. So Simcha goes on. I will say, just to understand, it's so easy to read these words, but what he's describing over here, this hands down is the greatest struggle in life. This is it. This is it. Being able to figure out, I want to literally have my cake and eat it too. I want to enjoy Gashmius, but yet not allow Gashmius to derail Ruchnius. I will say, and this is the greatest struggle in life. So the tzaddikim amongst us are able to live Gashmi lives, but even during their Gashmius doesn't derail their Ruchnius. He says, V'amnam, lefishi asher la'adam shiasimu al asmo matzavazeh. Therefore, I will say, it's not really possible for most of us to give up. Now, the real tzaddikim, what the real tzaddikim is what? They give up all Gashmius for the sake of Ruchnius. The Ramchal says, that's not us. That's not us. He says, Ki kavihu mimenu. That's a heavy lift, and that's a bit too much. Ki sof chamri ubasar v'adam. Because well, at the end they were physical material beings. So, in other words, even though I know, are there tzaddikim in this world, Rabbi say, who give up Gashmius for the sake of absolute Ruchnius? Yeah, absolutely. Am I one of those people? No way. And by the way, to be honest, it's all about honest. I'm not even striving to be a person like that. Right? I will say, in other words, that's not my goal. My goal, my personal goal, is not to be a person who gives up Gashmi. Right? It's not realistic for me. I'm not giving up Gashmius. It's not happening now, and it's not even part of the grand life plan. Right? Even if the genie was in the bottle, so you could be whatever you want, do whatever you want, that wouldn't be a wish. The Ramchal says, that's okay. That's not us. That's not us. That's an elevated level, but that's not us. He says, Kisof sof chamri ubasar v'dam al ki amarti shesof hakidusha atana. Oh. Now I understand the dialectic. See, I will say, here's what it is. Here's what it is. You see, what's the real hishtadlus by Kedusha? What's the real hishtadlus? The real hishtadlus is you give up as much Gashmius as you can. See, I will say, but the reality is, for most of us, that's not realistic. That's not realistic. I am a physical being, and I enjoy my Gashmius. I have to enjoy it responsibly. I have to enjoy it in moderation, and I have to enjoy it in a way that it doesn't stare, it doesn't undermine the ruchnius I want to accomplish. But that's where I'm holding. Now the Ramchal says, now you understand. That's why, what's my job? My job is put in the effort. Put in the effort. The effort in accordance with where I'm holding in life. And I will say that's why. That's the first part of acquiring Kedusha. And what's the second part? What's the second part? What's the second part? A matana. A gift from Hashem. See, I will say, because given the fact that I am a Gashmi being, I'm not going to reach the full level of Kedusha on my own. So therefore, I'm going to put in my effort. But the second part of the acquisition of Kedusha is a gift from above. A gift from Hashem. He goes on, he says, Kimashi yuchala adam lasos, hu eshtalas harishona, beredifas hayidiyah ha'amitis, v'asmadas ha'askala b'kedushas ha'maisa. See, I will say, my job, my hishtadlus, ultimately, again, is to reinforce, right? Is to reinforce this hasmada, to reinforce this mindset, right? To reinforce all the different things, also that we've been speaking about up until now. Redifa hayidiyah ha'amitis, run after true understanding of Kedusha, as we learned before, reinforce the concept of Kedusha over and over, try to sanctify my actions, and don't get derailed by materialism. Achasofu, shakadish baruch hu yadjichei b'derech hazeh, shu chafetz lalechas ba, v'yashra alav Kedusha sadikacheu. But I will say, at the end of the day, I cannot do it on my own. I need HaKadosh Baruch Hu to help me. Va'az yitzlach biyado ze adavar, sheyuchal lios b'dveikos hazeh imo yisbarach b'timidos. So I will say, listen to this synergistic partnership. So if I put in my effort, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu blesses me with additional siyata d'shmaya, that's how Kedusha is acquired. That's how great things happen. So you know what we'll do? We'll stop over here for today. We're stopping a little bit earlier than the allotted time, but we'll be fine for tomorrow. But again, we are introduced now, says Ramchal, to this incredible, beautiful, magnificent, synergistic partnership between man and God in the acquisition of Kedusha. I do my part, which is establishing the right mindset. I do my part in making sure that I try to establish a healthy balance between materialism and spirituality. I do my part in making sure that my materialism does not derail my ruchnius, but there's only so far I am going to get as a basar v'dam. But after I do my part, here's the incredible news. We'll say, what's the incredible news? After I do my part, HaKadosh Baruch Hu does his part. And he gifts me incredible Kiddush. We'll say, to be continuing tomorrow. Shkoyach.